What's up guys, my name is Ace, and welcome back to Maps Exposed, the series where I cover all the lines of sight, wall runs, as well as other secret spots that I know of on every map in Black Ops 3. In today's episode, we're going to be covering the map Aquarium. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so this map actually has some really nice lines of sight and a couple of really cool wallbang spots as well. So first off, starting all the way back by where the C flag is, this is a very common area where a lot of fighting goes on in a lot of game modes. Like Safeguard, for instance, this is where the biggest fight goes on in a Safeguard match because this is where the portal is. Demolition, there's a bomb site here as well. So a lot of the times you have enemies that are coming from there, you're coming from spawn back here. And a great way to get a line of sight on them is to come simply right back here. A lot of people don't know you can do this. Very, very simple, and you can easily pick those guys off that are sitting on that power position right there, which is where they're always going to be rushing through. So this just makes for an easy kill. Next up, if you're pushed up a little bit more on the map and you have your enemies that are coming around that corner there, a nice way to take them by surprise, like most people will stand behind this thing here, and this isn't bad at all. Like, you've still got good cover there, but that's pretty much exactly where they expect you to be. So instead, you can jump over this rope without jumping off the map, of course, and then you can just stand right behind this right here. You have excellent cover here. They don't expect it to be a little bit more unpredictable. You can even strafe out this way. This fence doesn't block your bullets at all, so you can pick them off through there, no problem. Now, also right next to this, if you happen to jump up on top of these, assuming your enemies are coming from over here, you can easily see over top of this shark bait voyage sign thing, and you can pick the people off as they come from their spawn over in that direction there. Now, if you're playing domination, just a nice little capture spot here that I found. Well, it's pretty basic, it's not that hard to find, but you can just lay inside these bushes here. You'll avoid all the damage to any grenades and stuff that land on here, and you should be pretty much safe there. But people are starting to catch on to this spot, so it's pretty easy. Like, if they don't see you there, they usually know that you're going to be there. So it's good, but it's not the most amazing capture spot ever or anything. Now with this truck right here, if you lay down like this, you actually get a nice clear line of sight on the barrel there. Unfortunately, this is an invisible wall and your bullets literally do not do any damage through this, even though there's nothing you can see there in the way. So unfortunately, this doesn't work to shoot him, but you can still see him from this spot. Another thing with this truck is a lot of times you're spawning back here somewhere and you have enemies that are right over there using that piece of cover and they're basically locking this open area down. If you can manage to get up to where this truck is, instead of strafing out into the open like a lot of people would do, you can jump on top right here and just move up close and then strafe over. There you go. Great line of sight there. Unfortunately, you can't get a good line of sight to that one without jumping right up. And in that case, you're exposing yourself too much. So it only really works if they're behind that piece of cover there. Now, one thing that a lot of people didn't know about because these trees are here, and I actually didn't expect that I'd be able to do this, but I tried it and it worked, is you can actually wall run around the outside here. A lot of people don't know you can do this, so you can easily just jump around like that, and there you go. You can get into their flank where their spawn is. Now, one thing I wanted to point out over here is this is a really common wall run spot. People love to wall run across like this, but one thing a lot of people don't realize is when you have enemies inside here and you wall run over this lighted area on the wall, they can very clearly see your shadow through here, and they can easily shoot you through this. This is like paper. So I've actually gotten several kills on people that think they're being sneaky by wall running there. You can see a clear shadow of an enemy, and you just shoot him as he goes along the wall, and he has no idea why he died. So if you are going to use that wall run, I would highly recommend jumping up as high as possible to stay in the shadow up here. It's a really minor thing to your game, but it's going to save your life every now and then. Now, another thing in this area is there's a bomb site right here, and it's very often that you'll try and get enemies that flank in the water. A lot of times the enemies don't really expect to be seen super easily by guys that are standing above water, but inside this room here, you can see very clearly into the water. So just be aware of that if you are swimming up to this room. They have a very clear line of sight on you, and it's not like when you're outside where there's a bit of a glare, and it makes it just a little bit more difficult for them to see you. Like, they can see you if they're really looking, but you don't usually stand out that much. When you're approaching this room, they can see you just as clearly as you can see them. That also works great if you're defending here because you can crouch like this. You can see anybody approaching from the water, and you can also kind of keep an eye out over here. Now, in this middle area, there's really not too much to point out. It's pretty well designed, but one thing that I do want to point out here is if you're capturing the B flag and you have this area covered, let's just say you have enemies up on, or teammates up on the stairs here, and they're covering those two areas, you can capture the B flag like this to watch the guys that might be coming through this area here. Otherwise, you don't really have too much cover from them. Like, you can completely hide from them, but then they can just rush you. Whereas if you're up like that, you get a nice line of sight on them, and they don't expect you to be here most of the time. But like I said, make sure you have these areas covered first. Also, a really minor thing, a lot of guys will come around the corner like this when they have enemies over, like, inside that area there, on that piece of cover. Instead, you can actually just jump right up on this trash can like this, and they don't usually expect this move. You can crouch to take some good cover, stand up, there they are. And they're usually looking more for people that are pushed up to this area here, or they're worried about the guys that are up in the window or on the stairs. So it can be a good way to pick them off. Now, the biggest thing I want to point out in the middle of the map here is just a wall run that I love to use. It's a pretty obvious spot, but I don't see enough people using it, and it often takes the enemies off guard when they're in the window there. So if they're distracted and maybe they're looking over this way, you know they're in the window, or you just know that that window is clear for now, but your enemies are pushing up there and you don't want to push out all the way up the stairs like they expect you. If you just wall run up here, just underneath the whale, they usually don't see you, and you can just jump in like this and take them by surprise. Because normally they're looking like this, and you jump up and you're up here the whole time. You're kind of hidden. On the other end of that, this can work just going the other way to attack those people. Or you can actually jump and wall run all the way up here, which a lot of people didn't know about. I actually found this on stream one time, and I had a fun time. I ran around here the entire time. I did it for like a full minute because there was nothing going on in the game. And you can just keep doing laps up there. So you can jump from the window like this, onto the wall run, and you can drop down on top of these people here very, very easily. You can continue your wall run around. Obviously, you can't go above the whale, but you can basically do this all day long if you wanted to. Unfortunately, you can't jump on top of this area here, though. Now, a lot of you guys have been in that situation where enemies have control of this room here, and you're coming from the A spawn area, like from over here, and you're trying to attack that room, and they've just got it locked right down, because you basically have to come around into the open, and they can be wherever in there, and they're waiting for you, just aiming down sight. One way to challenge them, or at least have a peek, is to just jump up on this area right here, and you can have a peek over top of this. It's pretty easy to for them to see you if they're really paying attention, but most of the time they aren't looking up like that. They're simply looking in the doorways like this, or maybe over like this. They're not usually expecting you to be up there. Now on the other side, this one is a little bit of, it's like almost like a glitch, but I don't normally show glitches, but this is just like a little ledge you can jump to, which is on this dolphin's tail. And normally I wouldn't show something like this, but it's an excellent spot for attacking, and therefore that's why I'm going to show it. Plus, it's not really like a game-breaking glitch by any means. You just jump on there. You have a nice line of sight over here. You are pretty exposed up here. Keep that in mind. So if they are pushed like right up here, they'll probably see you as you're trying to jump up there, and they'll easily spray you down. So it's an okay spot. I just wanted to point out that it is there. Now, this corner over here where the A flag is often very contested at the beginning of a safeguard game. Also, when they are attacking the A flag, if you're still spawning at the A flag and you spawn somewhere back here and they've really got that area locked down so you can't attack them head on, you can come all the way back to this corner here, jump up, and there you go. Excellent line of sight on the entire capture area of the A flag. You can easily pick them off there. This is a great spot for that. Another thing I want to point out that you can do is, it's a little bit difficult, but you can actually wall run around this way to get to the A flag. So all you have to do, wall run on here. I guess it's a little easier than I expected. And then jump around like that. Very, very easy. They don't usually expect it. I mean, if they're paying attention, obviously they're going to see you clearly wall running around there. But in some situation, that might work for you, especially if they've got this locked down very well. Keep in mind, this also works on the reverse. So if you want to get in towards where their spawn is over there, you can just jump around like this. And there you go. You made it all the way around. Alright guys, so now I have one of the most ridiculous wallbang spots I've found on any of the maps in the game so far. And that is right here. You can actually shoot your enemies through right around this area here when you're on this outside area. This works great in Safeguard because oftentimes you'll have defenders that are pushed up and they've got that area locked down in there. I'll show you where that area is in a second. And you're coming off a spawn from this way and you want to flank around. I always like to just pop a few shots right around this general area here. If you start getting hit markers, keep spraying and you just might get the kill there. This works great if you have Vision Pulse as well. So I'll just show you exactly where that spot is. It's all the way around inside the shark's mouth here, and it's when they're standing on this piece of cover here, which is very common. They just shoot right through that area there, and it'll basically take none of your bullet damage away, so it's very easy to get that kill through there. So that's going to wrap it up for the map Aquarium. Let me know in the comment section below which one of the maps you'd like me to cover next, and keep in mind, I've already covered a bunch of the maps. I will leave a link to the playlist right on the screen here, so you can go and check out all of the maps I've already covered. So before you recommend a map, make sure you check out the playlist to make sure that I haven't covered it already. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.